Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Fantasy Six Pack Network. I'm your host, Dylan Clemons, and today my co host is Joe Bond, founder of Fantasy Six Pack. And today we are continuing our training camp check in shows where we are going around to all 32 teams and interviewing a beat writer or reporter or a fan on what they've seen or heard about training camp. In this episode, we're talking the New York Jets, and here helping us do so is Jon Siegel. John, appreciate you giving us your time in such a busy part of the season, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing very well, Dylan. Joe, thank you very much for having me on. It is a very, very busy time of year, but I can't think of a better time of the year
Oh,
than
you're
than than,
absolutely
than,
right.
than this time of year. It is
All the
surpassed.
excitement.
It is surpassed Thanksgiving, really. I mean, and we get the games on Thanksgiving. It's surpassed Christmas, and we get the
Yep.
games on Christmas. So, like, this is it doesn't get any better than this, and I'm very very I'm excited, and I'm happy to be here with you fellas talking New York Jets. One jet drive. Let's jet up.
I love it. I love it, man. Before we jump into the interview, I want to remind everyone, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and hit that bell for notifications so you know when a new video drops on the channel. And after that, make sure you head on over to fantasy6pack.net/plans to become an all access member. And that's where you get access to our award winning rankings, draft cheat sheets, and F6P Discord, where you get to ask all your custom league advice or questions to anybody on the Fantasy Six Pack staff. And that truly is the best part. But and then you can even save a little bit of money too. 15% off right now if using the promo code F6P NFL24. But Joe, without further ado, let's jump into it. What's the first question you got?
Yeah, so got to talk about Aaron Rodgers, the guy who played like 2 snaps last year. That was pretty awesome. All that excitement gone in a heartbeat, man. So what have you heard or seen from him at camp? Like, is he looking healthy? And then the secondary question is, can this offensive line protect him? He's 40 now, man. He's not going to be running around like he used to.
Without question, Joe. Aaron Rodgers is like one of one. He really is. So, like, yeah, he's going into his 20th season. He's about to be 40 years old, or is 40 years old. He could still throw the ball as if he was 20 years old. He's got a cannon still. So that we could check that off. His accuracy, his ability to be able to throw the ball into a bucket, into that practice net from 30 yards out. Check, no problem. The lack of mobility is going to be the issue and the cause for pause. From what I've seen over the last few years, minus last season, that has slowly started to decline. Like, he used to be able to run around when he was in Green Bay. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, he was mobile, being able to get around in the pocket. But as he's gotten older, that has just been on the decline. So now you mix in the fact that he's coming off of the Achilles injury. Now in camp, some reports are suggesting, or if you watch with your own eye, he does look like he's moving around a little bit slow. But again, I'm not. We all know here for all the wonderful viewers, I'm not the doctor here. But again, he looks as though he's moving around a little bit sluggish or slower. Now, yes, the Jets did invest in an offensive line to protect him. And that's all well and good. And yeah, and they didn't just pick guys off the street. So they didn't cherry pick who they wanted. They brought in veterans from teams that that come from strong offensive line,
Absolutely.
systems, institutions. So yeah, these guys are in place to protect Aaron Rodgers. They're also in place to support Breece Hall as well, but that's a different topic. The real question is, yes, is it, when that pressure comes, when they come after him with everything that the opposing team has, he's going to have to get the ball out. He's going to have to get the ball out quickly. He's going to have to get the ball out fast. And Rodgers is capable of doing that. But again, he's not going to be able to just move around or take a few steps forward, a few steps to the right, a left. You want to know, like, I guess, like the perfect football analogy to this would be, guys, you remember Peyton Manning in his final season?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Statue.
not just a statue, but his also like his zip on the ball, his velocity, all of that was just like behind him. So yes, Rodgers, again, the arm strength is still there. But yeah, he's gonna have to make even quicker decisions. I think he'll be able to. But yeah, it's really something to look out for, again, especially when a heavy pass rush, the blitz comes on. We know he's not gonna want to get hit, so he's gonna get the ball out of his hands. But we'll have to see. And it's interesting because I think it leads into one of the other questions, or maybe it's attached to this one regarding, like, can he return to his MVP season?
Yeah.
Right. That comes.
It's all right.
No.
That was this question. I ad-libbed it a little bit.
It's all right. No. So yeah, no. Again, the offensive lineman, yes, they'll give him the requisite 2.5 seconds, or maybe even faster than that. They'll give him the time, and Garrett Wilson will also allow him that freedom to just because he's a special talent.
Yeah,
special talent. He will be able to get open. So yes, there'll be more plays that will be completed than not completed. However, we're gonna have to see. Again, it's the mobility, and again, not necessarily because I think that his foot's bothering him. Not that. I think it's just that he's 40 years old.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I tore my Achilles. I tore my Achilles when I was 27. And I don't have quite the regimen that this guy has and the training staff that this guy has, but yeah, I mean, it takes some time to really be able to get that burst back off your Achilles. So it's that initial burst. Once you're going, it's okay. It's just that initial, like, boom.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's tough. That's really tough.
I would add on to that. You missed a whole entire season of reps. Yeah. You missed a whole entire season of your body being in the actual physicality.
Absolutely.
So I mean, yes, I think we all expect him to, have a clean bill of health going in. It's just, again, you're 39, you're 40 years old. You were already declining in terms of your mobility, in terms of your speed, agility. He's going to stand in the pocket like the Peyton Manning statue. That's the way I'm going to look at it. He's going to rely on his cerebral, his intelligence.
Yep.
And he knows exactly what's going on with not just one guy, but with everybody on the field. So that's going to trump, for lack of a better word. That will support the shortcoming of not being able to move around as fast. That's what I got it. That's what I got there, fellas.
Makes sense,
All
man.
right.
Looking at the backfield situation now, last year the quarterback situation was awful for the Jets. With Aaron Rodgers going down, Breece Hall, man, it didn't matter. He's still awesome for fantasy football purposes. Even off of the ACL injury, we know he's the guy in this offense. But who is the guy you see running behind him as the RB2? They had Izzy Abanikanda. They drafted Braylon Allen. What are your thoughts here, John?
Once they drafted Braylon Allen, and many had thought that, Abanikanda was still going to be that RB2 because of what he showed us behind Breece Hall last season. Right. And for what Dalvin Cook didn't show anybody last season. Yep. But be that as it may, Braylon Allen has hit the ground running. Again, no pun intended. I'm going to defer a little bit here to Coach Speak Index in a recent
Love
interview.
that.
Yeah, great account. Great account. Recent interview, Robert Saleh was just singing this dude's praises. And I'm pretty sure that the depth chart, which I don't really hold that much credence into, but still, I think the depth chart does support the fact that Braylon Allen right now is RB2 behind Breece Hall. And it's interesting, if you look at the three guys, right, between Breece, Abanikanda, Braylon Allen, they're all within like an inch height of one another, right? Abanikanda is the shorter and the less and the lightest.
Yep.
Breece Hall comes in the middle, like around 6 foot, 215, 213, somewhere around there. And then Braylon Allen is like the big boy bruiser.
Yep, he's that power back. Yep.
Yeah, he looks taller, he looks bigger. So Robert Saleh was saying, look, out of the backfield, he's looked great running routes out of the backfield. Okay, we know that Breece Hall is great out of the backfield, is great running routes. So again, look, this is of course under the condition that Breece Hall is the RB1. We believe that Braylon Allen will get work onto the field. In certain situations, maybe I know no one's going to really want to hear this. I don't want to hear this as a Breece Hall manager myself. He may get some goal line work. He may get some work. And as of right now, he's looking very promising. He's looking very good. He's strong. He's, as you alluded to, Dylan. I mean, he's a big boy, big bruiser. And Robert Saleh is just singing his praises. I mean, we're going to have to defer there. He's a rookie running back. Third round capital, I believe, right? So typically,
I don't remember.
I believe he was drafted, if not the third round, maybe day 3, maybe more like it. Nevertheless, gentlemen,
he's a fourth rounder. I just saw it.
He's a day. All right, so day 3, right? Nevertheless, we're talking about a backfield that's not ambiguous either. Like, this isn't the Pittsburgh Steelers backfield,
right?
This isn't the Tennessee Titans backfield. This is the Breece Hall backfield,
right?
Now, now here's an interesting scenario. Should something happen to Breece Hall, knock on all that fantasy wood. What I do think would happen is Abanikanda, since he's got more of the experience, would come in on the early downs, or maybe start that role. Without question, a split. But I think we would see Izzy,
especially if it happens early in the season. Yeah,
maybe take on more of the feature backs or lead back, first and second down back. Braylon Allen to come in on on third down. Also, Robert Saleh saying that he's great in pass protection. So if you could pass protect and you have Aaron Rodgers, you're gonna want,
he's gonna like you.
You're gonna want everybody in on the field that could protect this man, block this man,
absolutely,
to protect the blitz. Right. So Izzy's we said the shorter of the backs. Braylon Allen's a big boy who could like do that chipping and maybe give Rodgers that additional tick that he needs.
Right. Yeah. So that additional tick though is going to be going to those receivers, and like the running back room, the receiver room has the alpha. We all know who it is. We talked about him already, Garrett Wilson. So they added Mike Williams. They brought in Malachi Corley. Allen Lazard is still hanging around there. Big favorite of Rodgers, but we've seen him slow down too. Is Lazard the odd man out? Like, how do you see this receiving core kind of playing out here?
When I originally got the question, I did I had the knee-jerk reaction, or the knee-jerk answer to myself, and I said, it's probably Mike Williams. But now then I went and thought about it a little bit more, and then based on again recent reports, and Mike Williams, God bless him, is ahead of schedule. Okay, so that's
Mhm.
working in his favor. Now all he has to do is just get like some good practice and like simulations in terms of getting on the same page with Rodgers. Alan Lazard, I know a lot of people may think that he could be the odd man out, but I don't really believe so. He was brought in specifically because he knows Rodgers and Rodgers knows him. Alan Lazard isn't going to be asked to run that complete route tree that Garrett Wilson's already going to run. And Alan Lazard really isn't going to be able to beat like press coverage and be able to separate enough on some of the best DBs. But Alan Lazard could, get you a good slant on third down. That's the whole key, fellas. The Jets couldn't convert any third downs. So I don't think Alan Lazard's the odd man out, and that's going to really leave us with the rookie, Malachi Corley.
Yeah.
Just raw, not experienced in the NFL. Again, there's a lot of positive reports coming out of training camp regarding how he's running with purpose. He's eager to learn, and all that is wonderful. That's great, and again, a lot of people give the Jets, give them crap, because being like a kind of like a second class organization or not a very good winning culture. The culture is very strong in that building. It is what Robert Saleh, Joe Douglas, they bring in a lot of or all high character dudes. So they wouldn't have drafted Malachi Corley if they didn't love his character. He'll get on the field. They'll design something for him, whether it be like a motion jet sweep, a wide receiver screen, something along those lines. Just because, again, he's fast, he'll be able to he'll be able to beat his defenders in the open field. But in terms of rotation, they're not going to run a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. I don't think they will anyway. They will be mostly 2 wide receiver sets with the tight end. So yeah, I think Mike Williams, Alan Lazard would be the 2 that are in rotation with Garrett Wilson. Malachi Corley. Again, as the season goes on, this could absolutely change. But as of now, to start week 1 or to start the first quarter of the season, I think we're going to see those veterans, especially now that Mike Williams is more or less cleared to play.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think you're spot on as well, John. Aaron Rodgers likes to trust his wide receivers, and Alan Lazard is one guy he trusts, and rookies sometimes seem to struggle with Aaron Rodgers. So I think you hit that right on the head.
And then let's go back to, measurables like we did with the running backs. Lazard is a tall wide receiver. He's a tall target, as is Mike Williams. Malachi Corley is more along the lines of Garrett Wilson height, Garrett Wilson speed. So I think, one of those 2 guys on one side playing opposite Garrett Wilson on the other side. Again, not that Malachi Corley won't get opportunities. It's just if I had to do a pecking order of wide receiver 2, 3, and then 4, I think that's how it would be. Yeah,
absolutely.
All right.
Looking at the tight end position now, John. Rodgers likes to use the tight ends. We saw guys like Robert Tonyan score double-digit touchdowns one season and not even sniff that again. What do you think about Aaron Rodgers and Tyler Conklin's connection? Could we possibly see, an 8 to 10 touchdown type of season from Conklin, you think?
No, I don't. And you just alluded to it, Dylan. We did see that one season with Robert Tonyan, who cracked over 10 or maybe 11. I don't think I can recall another tight end of his that even came close. Maybe Jermichael Finley breached close. Right? Yeah. I think maybe he got like 6, 7, 8, something along those lines. But it's not all bad news either. We expect Tyler Conklin to be on the field, and we know that he's a big body. Could we see red zone targets? for Tyler Conklin? Sure, absolutely. I just think that it's capped. I don't think that it'll get to double digits. And here's another reason why I think it's capped. I don't think we're going to see a ton of touchdown volume coming out of the former 4-time MVP. He's just not going to be asked to do that. not at this stage in his career. What he's going to be asked to do is to convert the offense so it can actually get on the other side of the 50. I mean, can you imagine just converting a couple of third downs a game? What that could possibly change? That's the difference, really, between 7-10 for the last 2 seasons and maybe 10-7.
Especially with how good that defense is, absolutely.
Especially, I mean, like Greg Zuerlein might lead the league in scoring, but again, that's going to get you more wins.
Yeah.
So like again, Tyler Conklin or possibly Jeremy Ruckert, but
sure,
don't really hold my feet to the fire there. I know that he is on roster. He could possibly move ahead of Tyler Conklin if he picks up all that blocking. But yeah, I expect the tight ends, maybe not at the same time, but yeah, they're going to be on the field. So yeah, Tyler Conklin could be a red zone target for Aaron Rodgers. He does like to use them. There's no question about it. It's just a matter of, will he get to 10? Historical data tells us it's only happened once or twice. That's the only reason. I mean, did Sam Laporta hit 10 touchdowns last season?
He did. Right? He was the only one.
Right at that mark, yeah.
So I mean, Tyler Conklin.
It's a tough number. Yeah, but he'll definitely be a touchdown dependent tight end. But wow,
if anybody that's watching this hasn't drafted their dynasty teams yet, by all means, as your tight end 3, your tight end 4. If Tyler Conklin is still there, by all means, you could pick him up, have him on your bench. Jeremy Ruckert, if your taxi squad still allows for year 3 tight ends, by all means, deep leagues. Other than that, these would only be free agent pickups if your first tight end happens to get injured, which is very, very possible.
Yep. All right. Well, let's wrap things up here, and we've been asking a question to everybody that's come on about the team, and it is, who's one player that you think is going to surprise everybody, good or bad, that fantasy managers need to be aware of?
Now, is this for the Jets or is this across the board?
For the Jets.
Yeah, for the Jets.
Well, I mean, really, it's the one guy that we haven't mentioned, and that would be Xavier Gibson.
Ooh,
there's
one.
There's one of the wide receivers that could very well get into that, more steady rotation. So that's why I kind of like, okay, Malachi Corley, while he's a rookie, Xavier Gibson showed a lot of talent last season, or he showed that he's very capable in terms of creating an open space, making people miss in the open field. We know he's fast. The only thing is, how many routes can he execute? If he's asked to just be in on first down, or if he's being asked, or let me put it this way, is he being asked not to just run a go route? So if he has developed more as a route runner, I could absolutely see him earning reps, earning playing time, earning snaps on the Jets offense. Again, this isn't the Texans where we're expecting to see Diggs, Tank Dell, and Nico Collins. This isn't the Bears where we're expecting to see Diggs, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Romo. Right. The Jets are not gonna. They don't play that type of offense. It's gonna be more of like the 2 wide receivers, the tight end. Yeah, if you're not playing with a fullback, maybe another wide receiver, maybe an extra tight end, but still. But that would be the sleeper. That would be the dog sleeper.
I like that. One.
I do too. I like that one a lot.
Because he's coming into his second season.
Yeah, so he's got a little bit of comfortability with the offense, as much as there is.
He's got a little bit more experience. Yeah,
So,
but the offense, if that's what you call it last year.
I mean, it's a totally different offense now that Rodgers is there. They're going to be actually running it. So, but yeah. So anyway, man, I want to thank you for coming on. This was all great information, great insight into the Jets. Before we close things out, though, I want to give you a chance to let everybody know where they can find you and what you got going on.
You can find me all over the Twitter X machine. We run our podcast / spaces on X, the Patrick Pucci Fantasy Show, daily. And we're about to launch our YouTube channel, the Patrick Pucci Fantasy Show on YouTube. Yeah, that's going to debut week 1. And we're working really hard on that. And we're really, really excited for that. And guys, Dylan, Joe, the Fantasy Six Pack, it's been awesome, really. Keep up the great work. Hopefully we could do this. Hopefully we could do this again.
Absolutely.
Is there a mid-season report?
I don't know. We'll have to think about it, but
it might be drastically different than what we're recording today.
Absolutely.
But then again, hopefully it's not, though, right? If all goes accordingly, like mid-season report, week 8, 6-2.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Garrett Wilson is about wide receiver 5.
Yeah.
Breece Hall, running back 1.
Without question, gentlemen. Without question.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, have a good night, and we will do it again.
Thank you very much.
All right. See ya. All right, Dylan. That's it for our New York Jets training camp report. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, watching, listening. And make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button, leave those comments. We appreciate it. And make sure you go check out the playlist. We got a bunch of other ones that have been fantastic. See y'all later.